Unspoken Issues.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Unspoken Issues podcast. We actually are dividing the subject matter up for this week's episode into 3 separate, smaller episodes, I guess you'd say. Our book that we're getting ready to cover and discuss is Punisher No Escape, written by Gregory Wright. But to get you primed and ready for this book, the book came out in 1990. So we did a lot of discussion. Actually, we just killed some time, really, talking about a few of the top things in 1990. Specifically, we talk about the films, the music, and the video games from 1990. Now, the video game section, just to kind of give you a heads up, was a thing that we just did right on the spot because Darry had left to go take care of a few things around the house and unfortunately was unable to return. So Dean and I just killed some time talking about some of the video games of 1990, and that was a lot of fun. Tomorrow, you'll get to hear Dean and Darry and myself discuss the book, Punisher No Escape, and then the interview with the writer himself, Gregory Wright, as we talk Punisher No Escape. We get to also talk about Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, some other fun behind-the-scenes anecdotes as Gregory worked at Marvel. So without further ado, let's take you back to June of 1990. Let's get started here, boys. It's time for the Unspoken Issues podcast. That's right. We are back, and we are talking some more Punisher this evening. That's right. We're going to be talking Punisher No Escape. And this thing dropped in June of 1990. I think I told you guys earlier it was August. I was completely wrong. This was June of 1990. Well, hey, there I go. I'm going to pack my bags and get the hell out of here. But before I do that, we'll finish this podcast. I want to tell you guys what was going on. By the way, that's Dean Compton sitting over there, and there's Darry. He's hanging out with us. We're going to be talking Punisher No Escape, and I just want to set the vibe for you real quick before we get into our discussion on the comic. The only reason I thought of this today was because I was listening to some Alice in Chains. I noticed that their first album dropped in 1990, and I was like, oh, I wonder what was actually playing on the radio in June of 1990. Of course, I was looking at August, but hey, listen, I figured it out later. So I'm going to tell you what was going on the top 10 from the Billboard of June of 1990. Are you ready for this, Dean Compton? Are you ready for this, Darry?
Sure.
Here it is.
Sure.
Number 10. Taylor Dane, I'll Be Your Shelter. Ring any bells?
No.
Okay. All right. Number 9 is going to ring some bells. MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This.
I've heard that. Those are
that one I remember, yeah.
Pretty minor hit.
Yep. We have one.
Nobody heard that? You had to look for that one.
You did. It was a deep cut.
Right.
Please Hammer, don't hurt him. One of 2 songs on the top 10 titled Hold On. The first one by En Vogue.
Okay, so is the other one by Wilson Phillips?
Wilson Phillips is the other one coming in at number 4.
Yeah.
Number 7 is a band called After 7. Can't say I recognize them with Ready or Not. Probably, I bet you if you played the song, I'd probably recognize it.
Yeah, I think you're right. But no, it's weird how stuff will sneak in. You're like, whoa, what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Where did this come from? I remember this specifically.
I was in 5th
no
grade
idea.
at this time, but I don't remember that one. I do remember one time in 5th grade in the middle English class, we just sang Ice Ice Baby because somebody started doing it. We sing the whole first verse. Why would you do that? I don't.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Number 6 was
like vowels. Not here. Not here.
Number 6 was Madonna with Vogue. That's a pretty popular song.
Sure.
Number 5 though was Phil Collins with Do You Remember?
Oh yeah.
Phil Collins.
I like Phil Collins a lot, so that whole era.
Belle Biv DeVoe coming in at number 3 with Poison. Poison. Yeah.
We all love that one.
Number 2, New Kids on the Block, Step by Step.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Like, New Kids on the Block, right? I was in 4th grade when they hit. And I remember there was this one kid, and this is so weird. He was like, we're starting our own New Kids on the Block. And I was like, he goes, we're going to get the girls. I'm like, hell yeah. And he goes, and if they get 2 our way, what? Like, you get 3 New Kids on the Block?
Why?
4th grade. This guy was serious about his shit, right? It's like whatever it takes to get to the top. So, 4 to 9, watch out. Southside 4th grade's coming for you.
Step by step.
Right. What the fuck? Let's just hand up, watch the shotgun and everything. It's a very vivid memory of that. Watch yourself around here.
That's hilarious, dude. And number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 from June of 1990, Roxette's It Must Have Been Love.
Oh, what a jam. What a jam.
Yeah,
what a jam.
Absolutely.
I loved Roxette back in the day. They had some songs like Dangerous and The Look, and then this one. I was a big Roxette guy then. Apparently, they went on to make more records, everyone. They apparently stayed pretty big in their native Scandinavia and Europe. I didn't know. But apparently, I think it's only in the last 4 years or so one of them passed on, I want to say.
Right. I think it was the lady.
I can't remember. But, oh, man, I used to watch that. I'd be like, come watch that Dangerous video. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, it must have been love, but it's over now. That's what I have to say about that list there. But yeah, I remember a few of those jams.
All right, let's go to the theaters then. Hey, there's no sense in just sticking around listening to music. Let's head to the theaters. We're going 10-1 here. Number 10, Robin Williams' vehicle, Cadillac Man. I believe that's
I remember the trailers for it, but never watched it. It's funny. I watched Good Morning Vietnam, but Cadillac Man maybe a little too much for me. I watched Good Morning Vietnam when I was in 3rd grade. What the fuck's going on?
It's a very you thing to say. I buy that.
Yeah. So anyhow, Cadillac. Oh.
Number 9, one I'm sure that holds a place in all 3 of our hearts. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That movie changed my life. I love that movie so much. I remember seeing that in the theaters. I remember hunting it down. That was the first movie where I saw a commercial for it. I couldn't believe it was real. And I kept asking for it. I was like, can we go and see this? I really, really want to see this. And it has aged wonderfully.
Oh.
I didn't see it until it was on VHS, but I remember really liking it. I remember being mad, though. It's really weird. Those turtles look pretty good, but I'm like, they don't look like the turtles on the cartoon. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was very
live action.
Judgy 5th grader. I don't know. But no, it's a great movie. And it has aged pretty well.
It originally released, according to this, March 30th of 1990, and it's still at number 9 on this chart here. But anyway, I definitely went to the theaters and watched this, and I was a big Turtles fan. Still am, but
I remember being the only person in the theater when Turtles in Time dropped.
Man, I did not go to the theater and watch that. And what's messed up is you'd think that would be right up my alley because it's TMNT, it's time travel. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, dude, sign me up. And then I don't think I watched it till it dropped on VHS. I have 2 copies of it laying around here somewhere. Right. But anyway.
So you're the reason it flopped.
Blame me. Blame me.
Right.
I was just going to say that movie's rough because everyone speaks English. They don't even try to get away with speaking Japanese. And there's one half line at the beginning of the movie that, I don't know, tries to explain it away, but it's just nonsense. So it's like 90 minutes of complete nonsense.
I just feel like the people who were picking the demo for the movie, they're like, all right, well, if we can't get Jesse, who's in the time travel and the Ninja Turtles, it's going to flop, right, guys? Like, oh, yeah, we lost the Starcher demo.
Casey Jones was severely underutilized in that movie. All he did was babysit, and it upset me so bad. But
I remember that, too. I'm honestly surprised that somebody didn't try and spin off a Casey Jones movie from that because it would have been so much cheaper.
Right.
Like, because they wouldn't have had, you might have had the Turtles in it for like a couple minutes, but mostly you could have done Casey Jones. It seems like there was some money there. It was so hot, but you know what? I wasn't there to help them out. They already lost the Starcher demo. What were they going to do?
They didn't make a 4th one, did they? That's right.
They made the made-for-TV thing, The Next Generation, right?
Yeah, they took all the money and resources, and they made quite possibly the worst live-action adaptation of anything that I've ever seen.
I don't think I watched it, dude. I watched it.
You're missing nothing. It's called The Next Mutation. It's got a 5th Ninja Turtle, a female named Venus de Milo. Yes. It crosses over with the Power Rangers at one point. It's awful.
I think it's a Saban show, I want to say.
Like, it is a Saban show.
So it has a different feel and tone, even than from the cartoon. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all know this, but the cartoon goes 10 years until last year. It's a weird post-apocalyptic New York. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And Vernon's mad at the Turtles. Like, look what you did!
It covers like 6 genres. It keeps going, and they are running out of things to do with it. So let's just try something else. No one expected it to have that much juice.
Right. Should you just focus more on Wingnut and Screw Loose?
Right.
Stick with that.
Exactly. There you go. Great. Show your shirt again, Darry.
Yes.
Check this out, Dean. You see if you can guess. Came out
RoboCop 2.
There you go. RoboCop 2 was number 8 in the theaters at this point, released June 22nd. Bird on a Wire follows that up with number 7 there.
Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn.
That's right.
I remember I didn't watch it movie. My parents did, and they hated it. They're like, the whole thing is just looking up her skirt. Like, okay, well, I don't know. I played video games probably.
Number 6, Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts.
I have never seen that movie.
I think I've accidentally did a couple times.
Accidentally did. Like, oh, watch out, I'm about to become a woman.
No, it's more along the lines like
I just never watched it.
I'm sure my mom or somebody was watching it. I didn't put it on purpose or anything like that.
This is also around the time where I'm renting video games. So if we would rent movies and rent video games, you kind of had to make a choice. Were you going to watch the movie or were you going to play video games? And they usually would play the video games because we had rented them. And sometimes I get in trouble if I watch the movie. Play the video game. You wanted that. I'm like, what? Thought maybe I could do both. Apparently, it's not enough hours in a day for a fourth grader.
Guess not.
I also remember that. That's so funny. Where it was you can get this movie and you can watch it a bunch of times, or you can get this game and try to play 2 levels before we have to return it. That was a real struggle at that age.
Man, finding a game with a save and keeping the save, that was also a challenge because you didn't have the money to keep renting it until next week when you got your allowance again, and you prayed that save did not get erased.
Mine always did.
I was going to say.
I remember one time. I can't remember the game now, but I got halfway through the game and then somebody erased it and they were a minute in. I was like, what? Why would you erase? I did all that work for you.
Nope. Number 5 and number 4. Number 5, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. I'm a fan. I love the second Gremlins. One of my, as far as sequels go, I think it's very underrated. And
the Key and Peele sketch about it is hilarious.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun, and it's aged better than it seemed.
Number 4 on the list is another sequel, Back to the Future Part 3, and I might be a little partial to that, just a little bit.
It's a perfect film.
ZZ Top, baby, double back again.
Double back again. That's great. That's good.
Double back again. That's my ZZ Top impression, everyone. I don't think it's that bad. You got to get in the eliminator. You got to rotate your arm. You got to point
to it. Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. Number 3 was another 48 Hours. So Eddie Murphy.
Okay, Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy. I remember seeing that. I've seen the first one too, but I don't remember anything from it. But I remember it was good. I think this one was not as.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a chance and to try and guess. We got number 2 and number 1 to go. What was one of the biggest films of 1990? This is a comic book movie.
The Rocketeer.
Nope. Which is it on here? No, I guess not.
1990.
Oh, Dick Tracy?
Dick Tracy was number 2. That's right. Dick Tracy had been on the chart since June 15th. I assume that he's going to make a little bit more money, but Dick Tracy. And the number 1 movie was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
T2, right?
Nope.
No, Kindergarten Cop.
Nope.
Total Recall.
Twins.
2 weeks. Total Recall. That's right. Twins. Twins, the number 1 movie of June 1990. No,
I don't remember when Twins came out. I don't know. It was a big hit.
Yeah, I watched it. Speaking
of Twins, they're putting out the Wolverine Hulk 2-pack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where they're the Twins Wolverine number 8 cover, where they're both in their white suits because they're doing mob enforcement shit in Madripoor. It's Mr. Fix-It, and the great cover. They're going to put out a 2-pack of that. I'll probably buy it.
That's lovely. But yeah, Total Recall.
I, for some reason, think that movie came out much earlier than it did.
June 1st, 1990, according to this.
I don't believe it because I remember it coming out in '88, and my 3rd grade memory.
Perfect.
Obviously much more sacrosanct. No, I really thought that it'd come out early. That's a shitty Nintendo game, by the way.
I played it maybe once. I'm sure I rented it and was pissed that I did.
You remember the scene in the movie where he has to go through security or whatever and they figure out it's him? You have to do that in the game, but who the fuck knows what you're supposed to do? I want to say it was an LJN game, which means you're like, shit, but it might not be, but it was definitely one of those bad adaptations.
Right.
Like, no matter what I did, I couldn't get away from all the cops that were coming after me. I'd shoot them, I'd kick them, and they'd eventually get me. I was like, all right, I guess I'll play Super Mario Brothers 3 or something.
Well, that's solid. That's a solid pick.
Probably Gunsmoke. My parents heard that every weekend. Gunsmoke.
Oh, good old Gunsmoke.
I beat it. They never did.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I can sit down and come really close to beating it today. I still know I haven't played it a time. Last time I sat down and tried to play it, I got to the final boss and he killed me.
Oh.
Which is pretty good considering I pick this game up once every 4 years. And of course I'm out of shape now, so by the time we get to the end, I'm sweating and my arms are curling up and everything. Like, what is going on?
Oh, man.
Got to take a muscle relaxer the next day.
Ocean Software made that game. I thought it was an LJN game too, but Ocean.
Fuck Ocean Software.
Fuck Ocean Software. Fuck Acclaim. Go to hell. All right.
That's why I thought it was an LJN game, probably because it was Acclaim and Ocean, wasn't it?
Yep.
Acclaim worked with LJN on a lot of shitty games.
Mm-hmm. Well, while we're killing time, I'll look up the top video games of 1990, and we'll just BS about that, I guess.
It was
1990 is pretty early when it comes to the Nintendo era for me.
I'm starting to play in '89.
I got my Nintendo in '88. That was my 10th birthday, and started playing at that point.
We got ours in '89.
You probably you mentioned Super Mario Brothers 3.
That's got to be number one, right? Did that come out in '90?
Oh no, hold on a
or
second.
'89?
I'm gonna look it up.
One of the two. One of the two for sure.
Take a look. Top video games of 1990. Oh my goodness. No, the SNES apparently was out at that point. There's no way.
Yeah, it drops towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Very early. So the games that'll be on this are Super Mario World and F-Zero. It'll be that early SNES stuff.
Well,
no Donkey Kong Country here.
No. Top 11. Chippendales Rescue Rangers, number 11.
Never got to play it, but I heard it was great.
All right. Gargoyles
Throw
Quest.
apples at people in that one.
Right. You picked up, and it was a 2-player. It could be a 2-player kind of deal, too. Number 10 was Gargoyles Quest for the Game Boy, it looks like.
That's like a Ghosts and Goblins spinoff, I believe.
Ghosts and Goblins, that's right. Number 9 is a game I heard a lot about and never played, and that's ActRaiser. Apparently a fabulous soundtrack.
Never played it myself either. Would absolutely do so, but just have not found the time. I've heard great things.
Number 8 was The Secret of Monkey Island. I remember that. Never
played it.
That was a computer game. Secret of Monkey Island. It was LucasArts. It was.
Wait. I think I played that a little at school. Is that like a point and click?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also had Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh my goodness.
Which we couldn't figure out how to get anywhere on it or do anything.
All right, number 7 was Star Tropics. Did you play any of that?
Really, I remember one of my first Nintendo Powers had an entry on it. I really liked it, tried to play it, but I found it to be slidey. When you tried to jump, it was one of those, it was more 3D. And so if you didn't jump, you could hardly ever get the jump. Kind of like the Gremlins 2 game. But if you didn't get this jump perfect, and I would find myself always sliding off. But it looks good, and the concept's apparently great.
Number 6 was Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Now, I remember playing a crap out of Metal Gear, but I don't remember playing Solid Snake at all.
I played Solid Snake, but not Metal Gear, and I didn't like it, so I've never been a Metal Gear person. People love Metal Gear Solid for the PS1 later, and I tried to play it, and I don't want to sneak around. This is hard. It's hard.
Number 5 was Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. And if I remember right, this was a Genesis game.
Genesis game. I've never played it, but I hear it's great,
Number 4, this is a game you've probably played. F-Zero.
For sure. I always tried to be the fat one who had the fastest speed, but took forever to get to it. Mm-hmm. And then I get mad because I'd always lose. But I like what a great look. And I can't play it now. It makes me way too dizzy. But I could then. Yeah. And man, they really, I forget what they do or something, but I think the trick is you're not moving the card, the background's moving or something.
Right.
and it is wildly looks good. It's way ahead of its time. And I think didn't they just drop a sequel to it or something?
There's F-Zero 100. I could be wrong on that. So it's essentially a battle royale type of racing game now. It's you against 99 other people on the fucking F-Zero track. And they just released that for the Switch.
Oh, sweet.
I'd love to try it.
I like the characters too. I don't play games anymore, modern games, unless it's funny, I don't play modern games unless they're retro games, which then it sounds weird, but I can play Shovel Knight. But I can't play The Last of Us. There's too much that happens or whatever. I like how the characters on F-Zero felt very individualized. There was a game called UN Squadron, and you would pick different guys, and they all slightly different, whatever. And I feel it's wild what characterization F-Zero could get out of just that character select screen and car select screen, and not much else. You could start making up stories in your head about these guys with that little bit. And I don't play games anymore, so I don't know if they do that a whole lot lot, or if that game's even in, or if that thing is even in style now. If there's just so much personal customization, they don't have to worry about it. But it was awesome to take shit like that and springboard what you were doing, what you thought was going on in F-Zero or UN Squadron, even 1943 to an extent where you could pick your power-ups. I really like that about games. They kind of they give you enough bullshit to make a character and make a headcanon, but not so much to where everything's laid out.
Oh, absolutely. Dragon Warrior 4 was number 3.
I love Dragon Warrior. I beat Dragon Warrior 2 finally a couple years ago, and I started 3. And man, I just love Dragon. I love Dragon Quest. There's just something about it. And I was one of the only people who liked this shit back then. Most people did not. Until Final Fantasy VII, JRPGs were not in vogue with a lot of people. Dude. But the people they were very in vogue with them. I loved them. And because I played Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy later on, people, Dungeons and Dragons, you might not get it. It sounds pretty familiar.
Number 2, Mega Man 3.
Fantastic game.
Okay, all right. And then number 1, Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
Everybody loves that one.
Gosh, you can't go wrong.
I loved it. I beat Mega Man 2 for the first time finally in 2019, and I was so proud of myself.
Thanks for joining us. Unspoken Issues is part of the UnspokenDecade.com, the home for 90s comics, blogs, and podcasts. Unspoken Issues also has a Facebook group you can join if you are interested. Just search the Unspoken Issues podcast and request to join. All of this would not be possible without W2Mnet.com, so make sure to seek them out for more podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please feel free to share, and we look forward to entertaining you again soon.